Hi, Ian here from Insightful Products. Welcome back to Foot of the Week. I'm here with Mark, and Mark's in here at Insightful Products to test out a StepSmart brace. And he has a 9.5 foot. That is a foot that goes into a 9.5 size shoe. And when we put the small brace on, it looked like it was a little tight at the heel, so I thought I'd take the opportunity to kind of review fitting and so we can detail the different aspects of fitting a StepSmart brace. So the width of the heel turns out to be one of the primary elements, and so we're going to talk about that now. I'm going to show you a couple ways of how to measure for the width of the heel. Now if you trace the foot, there's an inherent difference between this edge of the pen that's contacting the foot and then where the actual pen tip hits. And you can change the angle and you can actually change that. And so tracing does have that kind of element of variation depending on the thickness of the pen and the angle of the pen. So I just did a quick tracing like anybody would do. We're going to now measure that to see what that is. And that measurement here, I have this kind of advanced micrometer here. This right here, just for argument's sake, is 2 3/4 inches. Let's take it here, let's measure it again with this. So that's about 2 3/4 if we use that method. Now 2 3/4 is the edge between a small and a large. That's what I found, and we can now then take this and use this system to see what his width of his heel is. Now this is a non-weight bearing, so the heel isn't kind of squishing out like it might. And that seems about right. And that again is about 2 3/4. So when I drew that, I probably took the pen and kind of tilted it around like this to get around him, so that's why we ended up mitigating the thickness of that radius of the pen there. So the heel of Mark's foot measures around 2 3/4 inches. The small brace is just about too tight for him. I would say that he could probably be comfortable in this, but if he ended up with a thick sock, then that might be a little tight on his heel. So we're going to go with a large for Mark, and I think you're going to do well. So the length of the StepSmart brace matters too. So here we have a large, and if you put the large on, it fits nicely in the heel. There's not too much slop there, and I noticed that his metatarsal heads hang over the edge, the distal edge of that brace, the StepSmart brace, and you want that. So you want all the metatarsal heads to be over the end of the brace so that provides some comfort. So the large is the correct size for Mark, even though he's a 9.5. Mark came in with this carbon graphite design, and this one's a bit stiff, and it comes all the way up to the front of the toe. So when we just initially put on the StepSmart brace, size large, he feels like it's more comfortable. That's what you said.
Markedly.
Yeah. Markedly, yeah. So this is the calf. This is the eye strap here. There we go. All right, we're going to get to your calf strap, and then you're going to take a few steps and see what you think, okay?
Okay.
All right, I'll be right back. Okay, so this is the calf section. Then we have calf strap. Just goes around like that. Now this sock is just barely long enough for,
Longer
a little longer.
So they make longer socks.
Yeah. Okay, let's take a few steps with that and see what you think. Is it easier getting up out of a chair?
I didn't see a difference.
Oh, you didn't see a difference? Okay. Some people see a
Should I?
difference. So Mark has a bit of spasticity, and he's overpowering the StepSmart brace a little bit with the 2 amber bumpers. So we're going to put a black bumper on the lateral side for him.
I have a history of tripping and falling on my face, literally.
Yeah.
And part of the reason is my right foot. My right foot drags. And so I really have consciously keep my foot lifted all the time. And one of the reasons I'm a little bored of this visit is to see what I can do to help offset that.
Well,
So I'm inclined to drag that foot.
so what you're saying is even with this, you're still having trouble.
Yes.
Yeah. And
Although it's early.
yeah, the reason you're having trouble is that you have a crouch gait. So when you walk, you have your knee is always bent, and so this brace is fixed in a position so it doesn't accommodate for that knee angle. Whereas our brace has is engaged even with a bent knee. It still provides that lift for you.
Yeah, Dr. Sullivan said something of that nature.
Yeah,
It didn't have your background, but you said something of that nature.
it's a point I rarely make because I think a lot of people, it's hard for them to understand that. But you're a perfect kind of candidate to kind of demonstrate that phenomenon. Yeah.
Okay.
So let's take your left shoe, and I'm going to put a lift in there for you on that side.
Okay.
That's gonna help. Because you're not having trouble with your left foot, are you?
No.
Yeah. Okay.
I was just saying, I haven't seen him use his heel for at least a couple of years now. He just hasn't been able to do it. And he was walking with it on his heel. It's like, wow.
Well, that's a more natural gait, of course, and you want heel contact. It's kind of the normal
That's how
way.
I read.
Yeah.
And when I'm apt to fall, I'm apt to trip on my toe.
Yeah. Because it
I
doesn't.
need to keep my toe off the ground.
Right, and you have a crouch gait, meaning so when you walk, you can naturally keep your knees bent, and so the fact that it keeps your foot up even with your knee bent is helpful, and the other brace design doesn't do that. Following?
Yes, I do.
So if you just take a couple more steps, so we can see the clearance.
He hasn't been able to do that for a long time. So you see that will help him not trip.
Right. You're walking faster, which is a good sign. You know, that's generally an indicator that you're walking better.
I feel better. And Jane thinks that she's happy, I'm happy.
She cares about you, I can tell. So thank you, Mark, for being part of this,
You're welcome.
and we'll see you next week.